Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Julian Stout. Welcome back to the channel. Do me a favor before we begin, go ahead and click the subscribe button, like and share this video so that way everybody can get the information that I put out, so that way you can be more informed not only in fitness, in education, but also athletics. But you see the title in the thumbnail. Ketel Marte, he is a shortstop, second baseman for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He recently had a situation happen where a fan was highly disrespectful to him on the field to the point where he broke down in tears on the field. Now, many of you might have the opinion that he's soft, he's weak, he needs to toughen up, he needs to grow thick skin, but I'm the opinion that we are not being decent enough to people as a society. The reason why I say this is because as a person who has been in athletics for almost 20 years now, the deal is that there's levels of decorum when you're dealing in a sporting event or a competition. The deal is that yes, you can talk trash all you want to, you are entitled to do so, but there are lines, people. I honestly believe that we are in the era of we are crossing lines because we are of no fear of consequences and repercussions for our comments and our actions. Now, that does not mean we cannot hold a take that is hot or a position that is controversial, but the difference is that even if you do hold a controversial position, you can be respectful to the people involved as you are, instead of being so highly offensive and highly disrespectful that you yourself are lacking consequence for your actions. I, for one, I believe in free speech, and I also believe we are not free of consequences. However, when we are having a discussion where the comments may be controversial, we need to take a step back and also recognize that the controversial statement may not be rooted in malice, but the controversial statement is nonetheless. However, at the same time, we must not be of position where we are free of consequence for what it is that we say. If I were to be, say, racist or sexist or any of the isms that exist, and it is highly inappropriate for the things that I said, if I am unapologetic for what I said, the consequences should be dire. And I'm saying this as somebody that is on a podcast. The deal is that, however, if there is a misunderstanding of knowledge, misunderstanding of information, and I am corrected on that information, and I therefore am compelled to not necessarily agree, but compelled to particularly act according and use proper vernacular in order to allow people to be who they are and not make them feel so assaulted that they cannot function. That is the difference. That's the balance. Now, if I'm at a basketball game, a football game, a baseball game, and I am talking trash to the players on the court or on the field, there are levels to this, people. We could talk about their play. We could talk about their lack of play, their lack of effort. We could talk about certain aspects of their lifestyle. And what I mean by certain aspects of their lifestyle, if, say for instance, an athlete is known to party too much, you could bring that up on the field. If you see they're not performing right and you say, and that's why you need to stop drinking, or that's why you need to stop partying so much, or that's why you need to, stay behind at home. That's different versus something disrespectful towards the man about his family, something, or woman for that matter, something disrespectful in regards to the existence of their loved ones. These are the aspects to where we need to start drawing lines in the sand and holding people accountable for what it is they say and or do. You have heard me be critical of Lizzo on multiple occasions, and the fact of the matter is that even within that criticism, I was not disrespectful. You might feel disrespected for my commentary, but that is not disrespect. I didn't call out her name. I didn't call her names. I actually stated facts about who she is. And if you are referring to athletes, you can state facts. You could talk about LeBron James. You could talk about Steph Curry. You could talk about Russell Westbrook and SGA, or even Stephen A. Smith for that matter. You could talk about them on what their opinions are, or how they played on the field, or what they think on subject matters that they talk about. However, when you start attacking them based on race, sexual orientation, based on their family positionings, these are the things that I believe are off limits for everyone, unless it is so dire that it has to be talked about. So for instance, if your lifestyle is affecting the lives of others to the point where it is detrimental and it is newsworthy. So for instance, I'm not saying that this is true, but let's say an athlete was, as a matter of fact, we could use Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods himself has found himself in controversy because of exploits of his wife or his ex-wife out in public that caused everybody to start having a microscope on Tiger Woods' lifestyle. And as a result of that microscope, we started to unearth and discover things about him that caused great angst. But if none of this was public, if his divorce wasn't public, if it just became a divorce, I don't think it is our right to go digging into his lifestyle to figure out what was going on and why he had a divorce. But because it became such a public spectacle, this is where things started to melt down for Tiger Woods. And in Ketel Marte's position, his mother passed away very publicly in the Dominican Republic, and it affected him so much that he actually went on bereavement leave for over 90 games. He played 73 games, his mom passed away, and he was gone for the rest of the year. And that goes to show you how much it affected him. As a matter of fact, if you go on Wikipedia, his mother is his only parent listed. So I don't know where his father is in all of this. I don't know if a father does exist. I'm not casting any aspersions. What I'm doing is I am just stating facts. If you go on his Wikipedia page, you only see of his mother. So under the impression I get is that his mother was his only parent. And when his mom passed away in such a violent manner, which is a car accident, for someone to shout out to him, "I texted your mom last night," is highly disrespectful, to say the least. To make matters worse, you know, we had the Malice in the Palace back in the early 2000s, and everybody was incensed about it, when the truth is that the fans interacted with him interacted with them in such a way where it was uncalled for. Fans threw poured drinks on one of the players, which happened to be Ron Artest, who's now known as Meta World Peace, and then he went into the stands and started beating the daylights out of the individual that did it. Now, am I saying that that's what needs to happen? No. But what I am saying is that if that consequence is available, if that consequence was possible, you may not want to turn around and say the things or do the things that will cause an individual to put themselves in the position to put their hands on you. And in Mr. Marte's defense, him crying on the field was not a sense of weakness, but actually a sense of strength. Some of you do not understand the difference. If I am crying because someone simply said something to me, then that is a very thin skin. But if I'm crying because what I really want to do is beat the brakes off of you, that's a whole nother story. Because the whole point is that where I'm from, you didn't go around talking crazy, period, in the neighborhood, because word is going to get back to who you talking crazy about, and they're going to come see you and they're going to handle you how they see fit. And in this day of social media, I promise you, at 48 years old, I don't know what I would be doing if social media existed 30 years ago, shoot, even 35 years ago. Because if you were talking crazy about me on social media, you might be in an altercation the minute you walk out of your house or the minute you get out of your apartment complex, because that's not how things go. There's a level of respect amongst men that needs to be handled. Men are supposed to have respect for each other at all times until they are required not to. Obviously, if you are doing heinous things to children and women, your respect has gone out the window. And as a result, that is where men will begin to disrespect you profusely and with extreme regularity. However, in this particular situation, he's a baseball player. He's getting paid to play baseball. And at this point in time, we are simply thinking that because we spend our hard-earned dollars to patronize a team, we have the right to say and do whatever it is that we want with no consequence. We can say what we want. This is America, people. But understand and know that if you do say and do these things, there's going to be a consequence. And sometimes the consequence that may happen may just be simply a stern talking to, a removal from a ballpark or a field, or a banning from a ballpark or a field, or that man might come see you. That man might actually wait for you outside the stadium and deal with you. He might ask they not kick you out of the stadium and then deal with you accordingly. And then now you want to throw a lawsuit out there and try to sue the man and say that he laid paws on you. But the deal is that if you didn't say anything about his deceased mother, we wouldn't be in the situation. As a matter of fact, if you didn't say anything about his mother at all, we wouldn't be in the situation. Whether you knew or did not know his mother was deceased is irrelevant. There are certain levels of things that you say to people that are crossing lines, and we now are in that point where we are reaching an inflection where we need to know and understand whether or not is this what we want to continue to do. Because I assure you, if we do not make a course correction soon, I assure you, we are not going to have a pleasant society to live in the near future. Tell me what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and on YouTube. Have a nice day. Be the best you. Class is stout.